Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed your meal. It was quite delicious. Welcome back to those in the room, and for those of you at home, welcome to the 11th annual Living the Dream Dinner. Before we go into the program, I want to thank tonight's staff at the Seaport for such a great job and for helping to make tonight so special for us all. Yes, let's give them a round of applause. Now, if you are joining us virtually, we want you to connect with one another via chat. It's a great way to comment on tonight's event, and who knows, you might even find an old school chum in the chat trail. Now, I've had a chance to get to know the Sisters of St. Joseph over the years, and the sisters continue to be passionate about reaching out to those that they call, quote, the dear neighbor without distinction, unquote. That includes our neighbors, immigrants in need of assistance and education, people on the fringes, all who the sisters have educated through the years, and all who are searching for spirituality and support. Now, you're going to learn a little bit more about the vast impact that the sisters make throughout our communities with tonight's video, a further understanding of just how alive their mission is and continues to be 151 years later. Quite the legacy, quite the story, and quite the impact. So I want to take a moment to thank all of the sisters, both those watching virtually and those in the room tonight, for all they continue to do for so many. Can I ask those sisters in the room, please stand and be recognized. Everybody up, everybody up. We know you're out there. Come on, sisters. Take a stand, take your applause. Some of them are a little modest. You have to encourage them to stand and take that applause. Thank you very much. You know, I want to now turn your attention to the screens as we watch the Sisters of St. Joseph Mission in Action.
Hello, my name is Sister Judith Costello. I am in my 68th year as a Sister of St. Joseph of Boston. As you may imagine, during those years I have witnessed many changes, especially changes to religious life. Yet during that time there has remained an unfailing constant in my life, the mission of the Sisters of St. Joseph, to connect neighbor with neighbor and neighbor with God. Today our mission remains alive with dynamic energy, propelling it into a future full of countless possibilities. Listen now to some individuals who will share how they are a vital part of Mission Alive.
I'm a survivor. So at the age of 14, I wind up on the streets of downtown Boston and in and out of the strip clubs and all kind of places, and then eventually up and down the East Coast being trafficked and exploited. Once the abuse started, I just thought that I was going to die like that. When I come here to Sisters of St. Joseph, I'm always welcome with open arms. You know, they give us bags of love, which have like shirts, pants, underwears, bras, toothbrush, toothpaste, combs, brushes. They give them gift cards. We get coats. We get backpacks. We get all kinds of stuff. They're so loving and caring and welcoming and giving. And so I know that for me, I know that's the grace of God.
So I'm a full-time student at Regis College. I'm a senior studying biomedical engineering, learning not only my academics, but also learning how to be a good person, learning the values of the sisters, and just over the 4 years that I've been there has just really instilled service and selfless devotion to the dear neighbor. That's why I go into the field of medicine. That's why I became an engineer, is to solve problems and fix them.
I primarily work with recent immigrants, so a lot of them come to this country not speaking English, and you know, that has an effect on all day-to-day activities. So looking for groceries in the grocery store, or asking for directions, navigating the city, or even in like a medical checkup, not being able to voice your concerns or ask questions with your providers. So I think that providing this service is helping them gain those skills and confidence in communication that they need.
What we do in the archive is to collect voices of the past to help the sisters make choices for the future. I've been inspired by their tenacity, their perseverance to continue working with communities, creating missions to help uplift communities and bring light into problems that many people forget or avoid or don't want to deal with or work with.
What I have received from my interaction with the sisters is what really drew me in. And it's the hospitality. It's that listening presence that has a healing element to it. It's the working together to better love in the world. And how can we do that? And so you're now joining with people that are making these efforts every day.
One of the charisms of the sisters is love of neighbor without distinction. And so I try to live that out by working at Spalding as a chaplain. So spiritual care is about encouraging the patient to do what they have to do to get well, offer them consolation, offer them some comfort and prayer. The sisters are leaders, and leaders stand up for good, and they do what is right. They choose to do what is right and to work for justice and peace for all people. And so that's very inspiring to me.
The values that the sisters at Walnut Park instilled in us were to try hard, to be honest, to do our best, and to love each other. The sisters were model educators. They were dedicated to the art and craft of teaching, and they were dedicated to us, their students. I'm an educator today. I teach writing at Georgetown Law School. Every day when I walk into the classroom, the sisters are there with me. The Sisters of St. Joseph are alive in their mission of education. At Jackson Walnut Park, the sisters brought the gospel love and compassion of Jesus to all of their students. They taught us life lessons, and they instilled values that guide us to today.
The mission of the sisters has given us values that deepen our sense of relationship with others, and their values change lives. And they help us to build a community of people who care about one another. I appreciate the mission of the sisters as bold in commitment, vibrant with inclusive love of God and neighbor without distinction, and sustainable as a shifting world challenges our resources. As I listen to the testimonials, I'm reminded that the sisters serve people across the lifespan, and I'm so excited about the vitality of the mission of the Sisters of St. Joseph, and to know that we are working together in partnership with a mission that unites us all.
I think that video does a remarkable job bringing into the room what we know the sisters do every day for so many, bringing that mission alive. Our next speaker that I'm going to introduce has something in common with our honoree this evening. Both are from Dorchester. I am proud to introduce you to the president of the Sisters of St. Joseph, Sister Mary Murphy.
Thank you, Karen. Good evening, Cardinal Sean, Bishop Cristiano, Sisters of St. Joseph, Brother Priest, members of the Brett family, and all of you joining us on this special occasion. We are honored to call you our dear neighbors. We are honored to call you friends. Tonight's theme, Mission Alive, will hopefully provide you with a glimpse into the vibrant work being carried out today by the members of the congregation with our associates, agrégés, and our dedicated partners in mission. To all our supporters, whether you have been with us for many years or are joining us for the very first time, we extend our heartfelt thanks. Your support, your presence, and your kindness mean the world to us. Welcome to our ever-widening circle. I am pleased to announce that we exceeded our goal of $800,000 for this Mission Alive event this evening. Thank you. We are indebted to Carol McKean, event planner, and the Living the Dream committee members for coordinating this very successful celebration. This evening also holds particular significance as we honor the Brett family, Harry, Peggy, Bill, and Jim. Thank you for saying yes to our invitation. More about the Bretts later. In addition to the video, I would encourage you, if you haven't already done so, to take a moment to view the posters located in the reception area, showcasing the diverse ministries in which we are currently engaged. And as we gather tonight, let us remember and offer a prayer for our many donors, former students, family, friends, and colleagues. On behalf of the Sisters of St. Joseph, I express our profound gratitude for your generous partnership with us. May God bless you abundantly, and may you thoroughly enjoy this evening's celebration. Thank you from all of us. Amen. And it is now my pleasure to introduce tonight's testimonial speaker, Crystal Parker. Crystal is currently the Director of Shelter and Stabilization of Children's Services of Roxbury. Her story serves as a powerful example of resilience, compassion, and the transformative power of service to others. It is close to 35 years since I have seen Crystal. How wonderful that neither of us has changed much. Please welcome Crystal Parker.
Hello. Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Crystal Parker. And since the lights are a little bright, I'm just going to turn. Standing here before you fills me with immense humility. abuse and challenges with mental health. My work is a testament to the mission of the sisters, allowing me to extend the same kind of support and care that transformed my life. I must acknowledge specific individuals whose influence has been life-changing. Sister Mary Murphy was a guiding light during my years in Cardinal Cushing High School. Her unwavering belief and support helped me navigate through my darkest times. I was battling drug addiction, alcoholism, and suicidal thoughts and attempts. Her consistent greeting to me every day was, "Hello, my friend. How are you?" It was a ray of hope, making me feel seen and valued. Her encouragement led me to seek treatment and strive for a life of integrity and purpose. Sister Mary Ann Crowley and Sister Mary Teresa O'Reilly not only contributed to my personal recovery, but also set me on a professional path in social work, a journey that began in the shelter where we worked together. Their ongoing support and friendship have been invaluable, extending even to my family and contributing to the legacy of service and compassion. The influence of these remarkable women prompted me to name my daughter Mary, honoring Sister Mary Murphy. Both my daughters Mary and Maggie have pursued careers in social work and nutrition and health science, continuing the legacy of service and dedication. Today I stand before you as a mother, a grandmother, and an advocate, imbued with a deep sense of gratitude for the sisters who have contributed to the woman I am today. Their influence to my growth and development extends way beyond personal achievements. These gifts I have been given, I strive now to embody in the service to others. Thank you, sisters. I hope I've made you proud.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'd like to ask Sister Mary to rejoin me on the stage together with Sister Marian Batho to present the Dear Neighbor Award. We'll give Sister Mary a moment. She needs a moment.
Oh my. Thank you, Crystal. The core value of the Sisters of St. Joseph: gracious hospitality, love and service of the dear neighbor without distinction, peaceful resolution of conflict, and care for all God's creation are values shared by the Brett family. They quietly, humbly, and diligently work for the betterment of life for all, and most especially for those who find themselves on the margins or with diverse abilities. The Bretts bring a quality of presence to every situation that is engaging, energizing, and a visible sign of God's presence and love. They accomplish this through advocacy, education, photography, and example, by quietly noticing the needs of others and reaching out in large and small ways to make life better for everyone. The Sisters of St. Joseph are proud and honored to present the 2024 Dear Neighbor Award to the Brett family: Harry, Peggy, Bill, and Jim. Please join us at the podium. I'm going to give the awards first. Everybody. Peggy Brett McCobb.
Glad you got my last name. I got the right one.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Harry, you're the best. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. Thank you. If you would just turn so we could have a picture taken.
Where's that camera? Where's the camera?
Fit to go. Okay, here we go.
You hold that one.
Here we go. We can do this.
Yeah.
More pictures, I think.
Oh, that will happen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, done. You had your 5 minutes. You're totally welcome. You're totally welcome.
Let's make sure your family gets a picture.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Speech, Billy.
What, is Jim blocking me? The photographer's over here.
The photographers, there we go. Perfect.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
You want to hold too?
And James.
Thank you very much, Sister Mary.
Thank you.
You're the best.
OFD. OFD.
Roger's here. Roger.
If you would all, would Peggy go?
Peggy's right behind you. She never left. Peggy's gonna say a few words.
Could
Peggy
we have
never
a
left.
picture with everyone, please?
Oh, okay.
Oh, that'd be great.
Where's the camera?
Tim's got one down there.
Marion.
Where's the camera?
Okay, let's go. We gotta get going. Come on.
Tim's down there with one. She's got one.
We got a place over here.
Oh,
Everybody's in charge.
one picture, okay.
Let's go.
Family picture.
Family pic.
There we go.
Okay.
Put it up so you can see it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can go first.
One more. Peggy, she wants to do it.
Yeah.
She didn't get it. You can do it after. Do it after. It's a picture.
Peggy.
Are you gonna say something?
Peggy is going to say a few words.
Oh, more than a few.
This will be fun.
Father Doc Conway really calmed me down by saying, cut it real short. But I want to introduce my family. Never did my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd be standing here before my beloved CSJs as they honor the Brett family. We don't see ourselves as anyone special, but only as a family who lives our lives according to the Beatitudes and will leave this life knowing we did the best for our family, friends, and neighbors. We were born and reared in Dorchester, lived on St. Margaret Street, attended St. Margaret's School, and received all our sacraments at St. Margaret's Church. We all have wonderful carefree memories of our youth where neighbors helped neighbors, and as the CSJs would say, neighborhood to God. No family was richer or poorer than the Bretts, and we often say that we are grateful for growing up poor, although we never knew ourselves as poor, because it has kept us all close to each other over the years, and we appreciate all we have today. At the onset of COVID, when we couldn't enter anyone's home, my brothers started to come down to my house every Sunday for what we call the Sunday Men's Prayer Group. And we sit outside in the freezing weather, wrapped in blankets in an outdoor heater, and talk about the news, who died, whose health is failing, and not a prayer is ever uttered. Now that COVID has subsided, my brothers still prefer to sit outside because they like the ambiance. Several men wanted to join our Sunday group, but we only made one exception, and after much deliberation, we invited a Paul Doyle to join because he is like a brother to us, always ready to help in any way. People see my brothers all over Boston. If someone greets Jim and says, "Hello, Bill," he'll return the greeting while never correcting them. They'll see Harry in another part of the city and they'll say, "Hi, Bill." And when they meet me, they say, "I never knew the boys had a sister." It happens all the time. I was the sister of St. Joseph for 14 years, where I met so many wonderful people and made lifelong friendships. And to this day, I still feel and will always feel connected to the CSJ community. My friends and I laughed together, we cried together, prayed together, and shared our families with each other, which we continue to do to this very day. My three dear friends, Sister Peggy Rooney, who's watching us tonight up in Bethany, as well as Helen O'Donnell and Peggy Scannell, who are watching virtually, call every week and we share our families along with our advantages and disadvantages of growing old. My convent friends are gifts, and we will always hold each other in our hearts because of the bond we share with the Sisters of St. Joseph that will never be severed. Our brother Jack was born with a cognitive disability due to complications at birth, but he still lived a very happy life surrounded by his siblings and our beautiful mother. I had never known Jack to say an unkind word about anyone, even those who treated him with disdain. He would walk 4 or 5 miles a day and smile and wave at everyone. Very often during our Sunday visits with our mother, she would quietly and pensively say, "I wonder what will happen to Jackie when I'm gone." We then promised her that we'd always take care of Jack, which we did willingly and lovingly. Over the years, we didn't feel sorry for Jack because he lived a very happy life, not a care in the world, but it opened our lives as to the undaunting task that parents, mostly mothers, undertake in caring for a child born with a disability. Their love knows no bounds. After my mother went to her reward, Jackie lived in several group homes, some good and some not so good, until, thanks to Jim, he settled in a wonderful home in Scituate. Believe me when I tell you that Jack was a male chauvinist. He refused to do girls' work at the home, such as setting or clearing the table or sweeping the floor, because his mother always did those jobs. Whenever we'd visit, my 4 brothers chatted with each other while my sister and I just sat there like props. Jack would ignore us until it was time to leave, and he had collected money from his brothers that he seemed to focus his eyes on his sisters. He'd put out his hand, expecting us to give him money, which of course we always had ready because we knew the routine. He would always say thank you and God bless you. However, he would never accept dollar bills because he once said that you could not buy gas with $1. He must have heard that connection on the news. Jack would have made a great economist. Jack loved his brothers, especially Jim, more than his sisters, even though my sister and I did all the work, such as going to meetings, cleaning out his closet, decorating his room, and making sure we updated his clothes for each season. Jack saw that as woman's work. So you see why I called him a male chauvinist. Our brother Harry followed Jack, and I know he's squirming right there in the seat because he dislikes the limelight of any kind of special recognition. Harry passed on an adage or a maxim to his children, and that was to do a kind deed for someone and do not get caught. Harry is a throwback to the old days of our youth, where you'd never pass a church without making the sign of the cross or tipping your hat out of respect for God, the house of God. The good sisters always had the boys sit on the epistle side of the church and the girls on the gospel side, and Harry, to this day, whatever church he enters, always sits on the right side of the church. As has happened, his poor wife has often been left standing in the middle of the aisle, not knowing whether she should join Harry on the right or her children on the left side. He keeps a roll of money on his visor so he'll have quick access when a homeless person comes to his window at a traffic light. He always looks out for those less fortunate, who, as our mother would always say, "But for the grace of God, there go I." Harry worked at the University of Massachusetts for 25 years as their special photographer and would still be working there if he hadn't been made redundant during the COVID. There was never an employee of UMass that has such a wonderful reputation for his quick humor, his generosity, his integrity, and his unassuming kindness to everyone. What a wonderful legacy to pass on to future generations. Harry dedicates a lot of his time and talent to the La Beret Center in South Boston with Sister Mary Adele, and also supports Catholic Charities, where they offer support for all kinds of addiction, after-school programs, family counseling, and just being a good neighbor to everyone. My brother Bill has probably met 3/4 of the people here tonight. because his job takes him everywhere in the city and beyond. Bill retired from the Boston Globe 25 years ago as their chief photographer. He had some interesting assignments, such as covering the funeral of President Kennedy at 21 years of age, and was sent to Rome for Cardinal Law's elevation. Bill has a fear of flying and heights, but he flew to Rome, shot pictures from the rafters, and did a great job for the paper. He covered sport teams. He didn't know a football from a basketball, but over time he became quite astute. While at the Boston Globe, he has received several awards, such as the Ramsey Trophy at the age of 21, which is a recognition all photographers hope to receive before one retires, and his record as the youngest recipient still stands. Bill has met many distinguished people over the years, but he is always more comfortable dealing and dining with the people in Dorchester. He has so many interesting stories, such as going out every Friday night as a poor 17-year-old boy from Dorchester with his new friend, Dave Mugar, whose father owned Stop and Shop supermarkets, and Arthur Fiedler from Symphony Hall, while they chased all the fires around Boston. They were quite the trio from all different backgrounds, but they just enjoy the excitement of being Sparkies. Bill's retirement from the Globe hasn't stopped him from working, and he seems, no, he really is, everywhere shooting pictures of all kinds of events. Bill never printed a photo that would cause embarrassment or irreparable harm to a person's family, especially their children. Believe me, Bill has had several occasions, and I was witness to a few, where he was asked not to print a photo because his lady friend was not his wife. It can be a nasty business, but Bill always held his head up high. Bill has published 6 photography table talk books, including famous local women who have broken the glass ceiling, the Boston Irish who have paved a way into Boston's history books, and is now working on a 7th book called Veterans Appreciation. He and his partner, Paul Doyle, have interviewed a couple of hundred veterans who have served in wars and skirmishes from World War II all the way to the present day, and have listened to and heard of the devastating and lasting effects of their military service that they live with every day. Bill and Paul have brought great comfort to these veterans by validating their service as well as their struggles throughout the years. Our sister Mary, or as some friends called her Bridget, was truly loved by everyone. She worked for many years as the clerk in Area C Police Station in Dorchester, where she helped many a distraught person who only wanted to be heard as they reported their car stolen or a missing person, or on too many occasions, a woman covered in bruises from a drunken partner. Mary had a very comforting demeanor and always treated everyone with respect. She became the second mother to the new police cadets reporting for their first assignment and always giving them advice, building up their confidences, calming their fears, and by getting to know their families. Her funeral was one fit for a queen. Mary passed away just 5 hours after her retirement date, and thanks to Commissioner Willie Gross, the policemen wore the black armband in solidarity, served as pallbearers and honor guards, filled several pews for Mass that was offered by Father Jack Ahern, who is also a brother of ours, and received a police escort to Castle Island, past Mary's former police station, where the staff stood outside, crying and waving, and finally ended at Cedar Grove Cemetery. Mary was a very humble person, and she would never have believed she was so well loved. Jim is the youngest in our family, and he'll believe I saved the best for last. But we all know that isn't true. Jim, like my other siblings, is a joy and a great credit to our family, and we have watched him mature into a wonderful man who never forgets where he comes from. He always enjoys when meeting people from the W towns like Weston, Wellesley, and Winchester, and they ask where he's from, and he'll say Dorchester. Yeah, but I know, but where do you live now? He'll say, Dorchester, and then watch them try to cover up their embarrassment. I remember that Jim had inherited Brother Bill's paper route outside St. Margaret's Church, as well as several home deliveries. One customer was Speaker John McCormick, who lived a few doors up from the church. Having no children of his own, he took a liking to Jim and would tell him stories about Washington, which even at a very young age piqued Jim's attention. When Jim went to Washington for college, he started looking for an evening job and found himself walking into the Capitol. The speaker recognized Jim immediately, and needless to say, he received the midnight shift as the Capitol policeman guarding the building. When Jim asked how he could repay him for his kindness, the speaker told him to do a good deed for someone who could never repay him, and Jim has reciprocated that advice many times over since he was elected state representative in 1981. Speaker McCormick eventually moved Jim to an inside job where he could study all night. If Jim had stayed on as the Capitol policeman, there would never have been a January 6th uprising. Because he would have stood fearlessly all alone in front of the mob, showing his badge and gun until they all retreated quietly into oblivion. He would have put the fear of God into them. What a loss for our country. After graduation, Jim struggled with making the decision whether to join the priesthood or go into politics, and we all know he chose politics. Because Jim had lived the longest with my mother and Jack, and it was only natural that he became a champion for persons with disabilities and their families. If you would read Jim's bio, you'll see that his whole life has been working toward making life easier and more accessible for God's special children. People think being on these committees is Jim's full-time job, but he has a position as the president and CEO of the New England Council, which takes him away a few days every week while traveling around New England and Washington. Good thing he has a patient wife who can tolerate his absences. Although Jim did not choose the priesthood as a vocation, he still clings to the church and is a tireless worker for all God's children. He and Patty run the Mary Ann Brett Food Pantry. He's active in the Order of the Holy Sepulchre, the Knights of Malta, and many other religious groups. The church and politics seem to be a good union for Jim. Well, that is a glimpse into the lives of the Brett family, a family who hopes that when the good Lord comes and knocks at our doors, we will not be ashamed to show what we have done for him by being a good neighbor. Thank you.
Well, it's not easy following our sister Peg, to say the least. But now you see why that Peg is the conscience of our family. I believe her patron saint must be St. Nicholas, because she's always checking whether her siblings have been naughty or nice. But she does it ever so nicely, and we truly appreciate it. We are, needless to say, we are touched and we are grateful for this very special recognition of us as a family. We've always been first and foremost a tightly knit family. As has been mentioned, two of us, Jack and Mary, have gone to the eternal reward, and we are certain it is a reward. But I also want to take a moment to talk about my brother Jack. My brother Jack was very, very special in my life. He was my mentor, and my mother was my hero. As Peggy alluded to, here's a young man that was brought into this world in the 1930s and having a difficulty with intellect. And the doctor was saying to my mother that we'll take your son, we'll take him away, we'll put him in an institution and a roof over his head and 3 meals a day, and the burden will be lifted for you, and I'd advise you also not to have any other children. Well, needless to say, she listened with a 6th grade education and said, in all due respect, doctor, he's coming home with me, and I'm going to have more children, and he's going to be part of their life, and he's going to be part of their life. In the disability community, we call that inclusion. And this is in 1934, a woman with a 6th grade education saying that to a doctor. She became my mentor, my hero, to say the least. Jack was somebody that I watched live with disabilities. And quite frankly, his presence gave us all an important perspective on life. And because of that, I spent a good deal of my life advocating for the Jack Bretts of the world, who have no advocate at all. And this award is really called the Good Neighbor Award. I've often thought, what is the good neighbor? Well, I thought that maybe it has something to do with Mark's gospel, when Jesus identified 2 great commandments. You should love the Lord, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And the second is also great. You should love your neighbor as yourself. Well, the first is easy to follow. The second may be not always so easy. It helps us to assist each other in living up to that second unequivocal command. And one of the good things about that effort is that loving and helping our neighbors can actually be fun, and if not actually fun, then at least satisfying. It can be very satisfying to give all of your heart and your soul and all your mind and all your strength to helping and supporting the neighbors. And that's what the Brett family does each and every Saturday, that we're able to provide hundreds of bags of groceries and nutritious groceries to our neighbors. And I've often thought, who is our neighbor? And I have a very simple answer. Your neighbor is somebody who's looking for a helping hand. And that's what we do, the Mary Ann Brett Food Pantry, each and every week. Now, let me just say that when my brother Jack passed, he loved the color green, as my sister Peg would say, because he liked the denomination bills. He's passing away. He's here. The Murphy's Funeral Home in Dorchester. We're finally saying goodbyes to a very special brother. And each of us go up and we say a prayer, and we put a $5 bill. And then somebody goes up, puts a $10 bill. And then somebody goes up and gives a $20 bill. Now, I'm not going to say what happens next, but one of us goes up and sees all those bills and says to himself, I'm going to write a check and take the denomination and put it in my pocket. I'm not saying who did it, but you may want to know. And then finally, I am very blessed to be part of the Brett family. And I do remember my mother, when she was about to pass, she called me in the room and she said, close the door, don't want the others to hear. And I said, sure. I'm sitting there, and she calls me in closer and said, I want you to do me a favor. I said, of course, Mother. I want you to take care of your brothers, and I want to take care of your sisters. I said, I will. And she says, get closer. I got closer. And she said, good luck. Well, I'm lucky. We're all lucky. God is good all the time. Thank you very, very much for this very special recognition to my family that I am just, I'm in awe of. I'm deeply appreciative of this recognition, but it's also a bit unfair. There are undoubtedly many, many families equally worthy. So we four gratefully accept this award on their behalf as well. Thank you very much.
Let's hear it for the Brett family, one of the great legacy families in the city of Boston. Congratulations again to the Brett family. See, they're still poking at each other, even at this moment. Brotherly and sisterly love, right? Please give a warm welcome to Father Jack Ahern, who's going to offer a closing prayer. Father Ahern is the pastor of St. Gregory's in Dorchester and a longtime friend of the Brett family and the Sisters of St. Joseph.
We haven't got time to sing happy birthday, but the eldest Brett, the youngest at heart, Harry, is 88 tomorrow. God's blessing. As we wind down tonight's celebration of Living the Dream, Mission Alive, our Jewish brothers and sisters are amid their 7-day celebration of Passover. Tonight we join them in a traditional prayer of theirs, the prayer of thanks. Throughout all generations, we will render thanks unto thee and declare thy praise, evening, morning, and noon, for our lives which are in thy care, for our souls which are in thy keeping, for thy miracles which we witness daily, and for thy wondrous deeds and blessings toward us at all times. Tonight, we too render praise to God for the miracles that we witness and the many of the sisters, agrégés, associates, and partners of Sister St. Joseph Boston help bring about daily in Jesus' name. In our love of God and love of neighbor, without distinction, we contribute mightily to a city, a commonwealth, a country, and a world desperately in need of unity and peace. Good and gracious God, bless all who gather tonight to support the many good works of the gospel embraced by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Boston that touch and uplift the lives of countless individuals and families in our area and beyond. Bless also the Brett family, our honorees tonight, for their living out the vision of the congregation of loving the dear neighbor without distinction. We ask all these things through Christ, our risen Savior.
Well, good evening. Thank you, Father Jack, for the beautiful prayer and blessing. We're very grateful. May I ask now the sisters, associates, agrégés, and candidates to please stand for the singing of Sancte Joseph. Sancte Joseph, Sancte Joseph, Sancte Joseph, ora pro nobis, nunc et in hora mortis, nunc et in hora mortis, Sancte Joseph, ora pro nobis. Well, what a delightful evening this has been. Would you agree? We are very grateful to all of you for being here this evening. And we also express special thanks to those who are joining us virtually. Thank you, Cardinal Sean, for being with us. It is always good to see you. Bishop Cristiano, thank you too for being with us. We extend to you our prayerful best wishes as you begin your new ministry. And thank you, Crystal, for sharing your beautiful story with us. As Sisters of St. Joseph, associates, agrégés, and partners in mission, we strive to be a visible sign of God's presence and active love. We have experienced many changes over the years. We have new forms of relationship and ministry. We have many collaborative partners. Yet our mission remains the same: to love God more deeply and to serve others with the loving heart of Jesus. The mission is alive and very vibrant, thanks to all of you. We are so grateful for your friendship and generous support. And to the Brett family, we say to you, in coming to know you in a deeper way, we are so inspired by you, by all you are, all you do, your witness to God's gracious love. So thank you for honoring us with your presence this evening. We are so grateful. So as we leave, may God bless all of us, travel safely, and let us hold each other in love, in prayer, and in gratitude. Amen. Thank you all.